Now, it's no secret that s1mple is making his return after about 2 years to come play IEM Dallas as well as my major. I'm just kidding, by the way, as well as the Austin major in a couple of weeks here with FaZe Clan. Now, if you haven't watched This Week in Counter-Strike with me and Vu, I highly recommend that you do that first of all, but we already gave our opinions on how we feel if s1mple is going to be able to help FaZe or not. Now, we don't have a lot of things to look at, but we do have a recent pug that he played with Frozen. Now, I will admit that this demo is slightly cherry-picked out of the last couple of pugs that he's played because there's been some stinkers. There's been some there's been some bad games. The point is that I do want to look at this game where he dropped 36 kills and just see what kind of s1mple we're getting going into these events, and we'll get to that right after a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey. Now, if you're not familiar with SkinsMonkey, this is a trade site that allows you to take some of the old and crusty skins out of your inventory, and you can actually trade them in for something a little bit new, a little bit shinier than what you have right now. And it's really easy to do this, actually. All you need to do is log in through Steam, pick the skins that you don't want to use anymore, grab the ones that you do, and then click trade. All trades will pretty much happen immediately, and any balance that you don't use in your trade actually stays on the site for you to use for any future trades that you decide to do. And right now, if you use the link in the description, you can actually get a 35% deposit bonus, and that's good for up to $100. So let's say you deposit $100, you would actually get $135 on the site if you use my link. So make sure you check out SkinsMonkey, and let's hop right back into the video. Welcome to the first s1mple demo review that we're doing this year, and I hope it won't be the last one. This one, of course, is just going to be a pug. Now, he is playing with, I think, the FaZe analyst as well as Frozen. And one of the things about doing demo reviews of pugs is that we can't really talk too much as to what's happening across the map. One of the best things that I like to do with my demo reviews is talk about how the team is playing and then how the player is playing in that system. But in this instance, we're really only going to be able to talk about how s1mple is playing. So we're going to start with the pistol round here. It's going to be a B contact, and the B player will go 0 for 1. Now, one of the things that happens here with B site Mirage, and this is applicable to every round, not just pistol round, is you need to try to disrupt the T's before they're able to get into these close angles here, because especially on pistol round with the Glock, it's hard to retake the B site. I think statistically, B site Mirage is like the third, or maybe it's the most, like the least retaken site in the game. It's something like this. And you need to try to stop them from getting into post plant. Now, obviously, s1mple has a pretty good understanding of this with years and years of experience, so he's going to get his guy that he's queued with to go out for him here so he can get this 2K. It is s1mple after all. He is going to always get the kills. At least that's the s1mple that we know. I don't know if that's the s1mple we have in this game. He's going to get a third one here before, unfortunately, they will lose this 1v3 because the T is in a great position. He hits some nice shots, and then he wins the time versus s1mple. But either way, it's still a pretty good round. s1mple gets 3, and we're going to move on to a gun round. Now, for the people that are newer to CS2 and probably haven't seen that much s1mple, maybe some old highlights, s1mple, of course, is an opper, and he is replacing Brokey for FaZe, and he's going to start the round doing some standard op stuff. You could even do this in your pugs. What he's done now is he's recognized that there's a top mid smoke, and he realizes that they want to cross the boxes. So instead of letting them do that, he mollies behind it while the con player spams the top of the smoke here. That way, if anyone's sitting behind it, they're probably going to get spammed. Now, there is a play that you can go for where you walk in front of this top mid smoke. If you watch any tier 1 CS, you will see pros do this quite a bit, and it's so that they can have a favorable fight. Now, I'm not so sure if s1mple is out of the meta or he just chooses to not do this round, but a lot of oppers will actually hold this line into the front of this barrel while their con player is spamming and the boxes are mollied. That way, if somebody is there, they will be able to get that kill. Instead, s1mple is just kind of holding, maybe looking for a boost. He jiggles it before nading the top mid smoke. He doesn't see anything, and now he's going to reposition because his A players are calling it there's an A execute. All pretty standard for the opper. He's going to throw a flash over triple. Now, a lot of people don't do this, but if you don't realize, you can actually flash over here, and anybody that's coming into the site will, of course, get a half blind here so that your site players can defend. And now s1mple is going to reposition in towards Ticket here. Like I said earlier, going to get this kill onto the T coming out before getting traded again by Zester. But overall, it's a pretty decent round, and they will end up winning it. But don't worry, this is not going to be a demo review only focusing on, oh man, I don't know if s1mple has what it takes to still be that flashy opper, because he absolutely does, and here's a really good round. So what we have is s1mple's got a pretty decent spawn. He's going to go for the cat jump, and he's going to make it. Now, one thing that allows this play to happen, by the way, is the flashes that are thrown from A. 2K. As you can see, there are 2 flashes over here in the mid, above the palm trees in mid, and that's because if you don't throw these, the people that are swinging towards mid can actually have a really good timing to kill this person making the cat jump. Look at how close they are to seeing s1mple. Those flashes have delayed just enough to where s1mple can get there. So if you're a mid player, make sure you're telling your A players they need to throw these flashes, especially if you want to go for something aggressive. Now he's going to jump down here before he sees someone peeking him. He has to go for the quick double scope, but he will end up hitting it. Now he's going to reposition because he knows that his mid player is also pushing up to support this. It would normally be a little bit riskier, but his mid player is also coming up to fight. Now you see he's missed this shot here, but that's no big deal. Now he's going to play aggressive. He's doubling down because he knows that under's not a risk because this cat player that's with him just mollied it. That's frozen. So he knows that the only people that can fight him are from top mid, and he feels very comfortable to go for this re-aggression. Now he's going to hit the shot, and then he's going to go s1mple mode on them. He's going to hit the flick. And before he's coming over here, he's looking for the highlight, I'm not going to lie. And it's been called for by his teammate, and he's going to come up here, and he hits one more stunning flick. So it's safe to say that s1mple can still do what he was doing in CSGO, but we'll have to see if he could do it on the stage, because that was a pretty sick highlight. Now we've got another round here. It's going to be against an eco, and of course they know that, so s1mple is going to go for the pick where he jumps all the way to the left side of the window. Now the reason he's doing this is because he knows against an eco, it's very common for the T to actually go for a swing to 1-dig the opper, so s1mple actually just repositions so that that's not going to be a risk. He's going to hit that shot, of course he will, before he realizes that there's probably nothing to worry about. Everybody's getting ready to hunt their ecos because it is a pug after all, and s1mple, he's going to do the same. He's going to go for an underpass clear, but unfortunately the other team knew that they were playing s1mple, and I don't care how good s1mple is, he's only getting one here, and that's the round. I also want to take this opportunity to show you a really cool new nade that pros have been throwing on Mirage, and if you guys haven't known this, I actually do have another YouTube account where I upload utility shorts, and that's probably where you know me from to begin with. So here's something that I already made a short on, but s1mple is doing it, so I'll show it to you here. What he's doing is he's actually lining up right here just to the right of this white smudge, and the idea is that this window smoke, when he goes to nade it, he will just throw a left click, it will land behind this door, and it will do no damage to anybody peeking. So what I mean is, when he throws this nade, it will land behind the door, and if you don't know how explosions work in this game, if there's anything separating you from the explosion directly, it won't do any damage, but it will still nade the smoke. So it won't do damage while I'm peeking here, but the smoke will still go away. Now, of course, s1mple, knowing that this is the play, will immediately mess it up by throwing a right click instead of a left click, and that will nade himself, but he still goes for the peek and he dies because he's look guys, he's a little bit rusty, but he clearly just needs to polish up on the Austin CS tutorials, and this is a shameless promo. Go subscribe to that channel if you haven't, so you guys can see some cool nades, and maybe s1mple needs to do that as well. Well, now we're on round number 11 of this pug. It's kind of a shaky buy, but s1mple still gets his op, and he's actually going to go for a completely different pick than the window pick. So he's going to throw a Molotov towards bottom con before he's going to come here and hold the ramp. Now the idea, I think, in this round, I can't really say, was I think that these guys were going to push ramp while s1mple was holding deep, but instead Fester is going to come out here, and he's going to get the kill. s1mple's going to get the trade. Now, of course, on the other side of things, when this guy sees his teammate die, he wants to trade s1mple, but s1mple's too smart for that, so he's going to reposition immediately and then get that kill. Now, he's very good at pretending like he's bigger than he is, and I've explained this concept before in demo reviews, but the idea is that you can start to have overwhelming amounts of pressure, because if an Alper just gets a kill here, and then he kills Palace, and then immediately swings connector, it's actually really strong, because this guy, when he sees his teammates dying to stairs, the last thing that he's expecting is to get peeked by this guy in connector, and that's exactly what s1mple does, and he's always done this. Like, for years and years, this is how s1mple plays. Once he gets a kill, it like fires him up to be more and more aggressive. He did slow down a little bit though, and unfortunately they were ready for that, because I feel like in CSGO, s1mple would have been running here to get this kill. Now, I know that this is a little nitpicky, but it's still, the idea is he is still going for the plays that he would always go for, and he's still hitting the shots. It's just like, are we going to have s1mple that's getting 4Ks every round, or is he just going to get the first 2 and die? I don't know. Both are really good, but, you know, we might not have the best player in the world yet. These are just pugs, though. Who knows, man? Maybe he's going to get a major MVP. Now, for the last round of the CT half, s1mple is going to go for a fast boost here. In case you don't know how to do it, that's how you do it. You got to stand there, B players, and since he has an op B at all this game, they're not ready for him in any capacity, as s1mple is going to get the 2K. Now, since he saw 2 people there, as well as mid pressure, he's pretty sure that that's probably all there is, and he's immediately going to reposition. position, and so that's what he's going to do. He's moving around, reloading his op before he gets over towards window. Now it is a 2 versus 2 now, and he sees that somebody has just smoked from A. Now he knows the position of the last 2 players. He's going to sneak into this jungle smoke, and there is a pretty good chance that they've heard him. He recognizes that, but he's simple, so he walks through the smoke and he hits the quick scope regardless before trying to hit one more on Defessor. It was on, but he didn't shoot in time, and they will end up losing the 1v2. Overall, not too bad on the CT side. He goes 16 and 9, but I think the T side is really where he's shining, at least in this game. Now for the T pistol, we have something very standard. They're just going to run out A with 1 smoke and a flash. Of course, s1mple gets dropped the P250. He's no stranger to that on pistol rounds. He's going to be holding jungle. Now this is something that oppers do, and the reason why you give oppers the P250 on pistol is because you can kind of treat the op like you can treat the P250 like an op in these rounds, because an op would normally hold jungle while the rest of the guys are scaling up, but a P250 can do the very same thing. It's just a lot less consistent because it's pistol round and people are full running and it's hard to hit the shots. Either way, he realizes nobody's coming jungle and he wants to help his team because they're all dying. s1mple is going to find a nice shot onto the triple guy before him, and Frozen are left in a 2-on-4. Now s1mple's already got 1 kill, and he realizes that Frozen's in a pretty good spot, and he knows that they probably don't know he's here, but this is some of that FaZe chemistry, hopefully, that they're going to end up building. s1mple absolutely deletes Kenny, and now he's just going to be putting that pressure. Remember, he wants to put a little bit of pressure so that Frozen can actually do something, because the bigger that s1mple makes himself seem, the more likely they are to put more of their resources on him. And as you can see, there's 2 people looking at him. He's going to end up getting taken down, but he's bought time for Frozen to get a kill on stairs, and now Frozen's set up pretty favorably actually in this 1v2. He's actually going to go on to win this 1v2. Sorry for the spoilers, but here's something that you can learn. This angle right here is actually what I call the brokey angle on this map, and the idea is that they can't jump out of market, because if they do, then you will see them as they're jumping, and obviously they're not accurate when they're jumping, so you actually get a free fight on this guy from default. It's also, again, really strong because you're not exposed to door as soon as somebody comes out here. So overall, it's a really good angle, and Frozen's just taking advantage of this. He knows that he gushed somebody earlier, and he's just going to be patiently waiting. Again, just bleeding out the clock here. Not likely that they have kit, especially in a pug. He gets that kill. He realizes that's most likely the Gush guy, since he didn't have to kill him or shoot him 2 times. And he hears this guy making noise. Again, it's very standard in this 1v1. You just don't want to overpeak. The bomb is your teammate in this instance. The longer that you allow the bomb to tick, the more likely you are to win. Of course, this is just CS 101. But all that's to say, s1mple and Frozen will win that 2v4. It's looking good for their chemistry, at least in pugs. s1mple is going to go for a fast play here. Now, it's very common in pugs, especially for players to run up mid. Remember, we already talked about the flashes from A and coming up to take these early fights, especially in pugs where there's no protocols. Now s1mple is just going to dominate the first guy, holds this nice angle for the cat swing, and he's going to get a clean 2k. Now the rest of the round, it's really nothing special. We're just going to fast forward here. They're grouping up in towards B. He's just holding the jungle rotate. This guy's saving, and I'm going to the next round. Now in this round, the FaZe pug team is playing against a saved op as well as a couple of deegs. It's mostly an easy round, and the idea in this round is very simple. They're all grouped up on the T side, because if they spot the opper, they want to immediately trade him. So let's say he's opping connector. If they double swing this, they will probably lose somebody, but they'll trade the op and get the threat out of the round. They know this op is here because he saved it last round. So we're all grouped up in mid here. We're looking for the op. You see they're all swinging together. Before we have the random guy that's not in the FaZe pug stack, he's going to find the op by walking up cat. Now, this is where things get a little bit weird, because we have Groovy in market and we have s1mple on cat. Now he realizes that they're against an eco, so he's going to smoke off the AK before he throws his away so that they can't get it. Now he's just going to hold for the pushes because he knows that it's kind of a little weird right now. Top connector smoked, cat is smoked, and we have a guy in window that's holding the market rotate. Now, like I said, this round is a little bit silly. Groovy is going to be holding for this market push here, and he's actually going to find the saved op, and of course, you know he's got to knife him. But in the meantime, they've lost somebody to a 1 dig, and it's actually going to get a little bit worse. We'll skip ahead in the round, well, leaving s1mple in quite a precarious situation. In the meantime, though, you see, Kenny is creeping up here trying to find that AK from earlier, and s1mple's actually waiting for this. He knows that it's very likely that eventually somebody's going to come searching, and they do. Another small detail is that this angle s1mple's holding gives him shadow advantage on this wall. You can replay that bit if you need to. You can just see it's a very free kill. He'll never lose this in a million years. Now, it's a 1v3 for s1mple, and they left the bomb back earlier just in case things get a little bit weird. He thinks he has a timing to go up cat here. He's in a 1-on-3. He can do whatever he wants. He's going to flash apps. Remember, because of where the bomb is at, it's behind this ledge. I'll actually just go show you. They don't know that it's here. Even if they have peeked window, they won't know the bomb is there. That's why it's been dropped here on purpose. I'm actually not joking. That is why. And He's flashed to make it look like he's on B about to plant. He's forcing this fight into himself. He's gonna find the op, and now he realizes, okay, it's time to go back and get the bomb. They do now know that I don't have it. That, remember, when that guy saw him, it didn't show that he had the bomb. So he's gonna come back here and get it. This guy in connector hears him, and he thinks that he's going back towards T spawn because everybody knows that that's where the bomb normally gets dropped. So S1mple, he's just going to throw a flash over towards A. Before running up cat, he's actually half blinded himself. He really shouldn't win this one, but Fesser, he is a little bit nervous. It is S1mple after all. He lets him go up cat. Now he's going to be able to get the bomb down planted for cat here, and he's going to push market. It's the standard 1v2 play, just trying to balance the timings here. It's going to get mollied out because it's really just that common, and he's ticked, giving the sound cue over, and he just repositioned ever so slightly in towards E-box before he wins the clutch with a 4K. Now, I will admit that was a lot of yap, but I just wanted to dissect that clutch because I still think that there's a lot that you can learn from S1mple, even if he's not in tip-top shape right now. Now, I'm going to show you round number 18, where Frozen and S1mple are going to go for a duo play. We can actually learn from this one because this is something that they definitely calmed in their team speak, something that they wanted to do. So, of course, Frozen's going to come out here and try to challenge onto the ticket guy, because look at the money. It's not very good. They know how to keep track of money because they're professional players. They know they're not going to be playing against an op, so Frozen's going to come out here and try to challenge whoever's playing A. In the meantime, S1mple's going to hold stairs in case anybody tries to challenge, and they do. S1mple hits the shot, and now Frozen's going to keep pushing. Now, S1mple is going to reposition, still holding stairs. He's not very confident somebody's going to peek him, so he's just playing for the quickscope. He's going to throw a nice smoke here, and then a nice molly as well. That's going to molly the top of stairs, as well as the jungle cross. He's just going to be waiting. Of course, they're just applying pressure, and it's not because they're trying to take the A site. It's actually because they want their mid players to create chaos. If there's one person on A site, there's a pretty good chance he's going to push into these guys, or he's just never going to peek. They just need their mid players to get in position, and the bomb is still down. So there's really nothing that they can do yet. S1mple's going to come out here. He's actually going to lose Frozen. He's actually going to lose his health as well, but he's not dead yet. He's going to eventually get the kill before the rest of the round kind of just collapses in front of him. He's patiently waiting. His team have decided to go B. They've completely abandoned him, and he's actually just going to save. Now, it's actually kind of insane that he's saving in a pug, because I wouldn't even save in this situation if I was trying my hardest, but he realizes that if they're going to win this game, they don't have an op on the CT side, and they have infinite money basically on T side, and so they just don't want to give it over. Honestly, I respect this decision. It's the right play. Now, with that saved op, he's going to go for a nice play here. He's going to go for the ramp pick, and if you get mollied off like this, it's very hard to see, so you have two options. S1mple is going to just shoot on a timing here and hope that he hits him, but there's another option that not a lot of people know about, which is that if you actually look at your radar, you can still get the red dot that appears whenever you see somebody, and you can shoot off of the red dot instead. But he just goes for the shot just to show, hey, my op is over here. That way, maybe they walk into something. Maybe they walk into this mid stack that they're about to do. We know, taking mid control. Either way, he comes over here, drops his teammate a gun. Of course, this would never happen in an actual match because they would all have that sorted, and they're going to come back in mid. They've lost a player, but it's just standard mid control here. He's going to just try to hold lines for them. It's all the same thing that we've talked about in every op demo review that we've done. He's just kind of looking around, seeing what he can do. He's going to molly back cat. He's dropped his smoke over to somebody as well who's going to use it for something. He realizes that there's an extra nade on his dead teammate, so he's going to go pick it up. He throws the AK away as well, just in case somebody comes looking for it later. Now, when we use the term line holder, it's actually a term that I just kind of made up. The idea is that the T-opper will hold lines. So commonly, let's say he's chair here holding the cat pick. That's not a straight line, but he's holding the cat pick. That way his rifles can go up. And then once the teammates get close, then they throw a flash for them to go to the next spot. It's all very common. Now, he's not doing it down to a T in this round because he's been kind of floating around. He went back and got a molly, but he still comes back in time to throw this flash for his teammate. Now, unfortunately, Kenny is going to dodge this flash. He's heard it, and he's going to get the kill, but it's still the same concept. He's just trying to be useful as an opper. And if you're a pug opper, you should try to do the same thing, where if you're going to go for a pick early round, you can eventually slow it down and you let your teammates push up. Like, let's give you another example. Let's say you're opping con and you're holding for this swing, and Windows smoked and maybe Cat smoked in this example. You just say, guys, get up close to con, and once they get here and they clear out all the close angles, the underpass angle and whatnot, then you flash connector for them, and then they can take it. That's kind of the idea, and you can apply this to any map in any real situation. So he's going to do something very similar. He's holding for the top ticket angle here. If you don't know if somebody jumps up there, they actually give their shadow. So he's just waiting. He doesn't see anyone. That's why he's holding so close. And he's going to take that molly that he got from his teammate earlier, throws it towards back cat, and he's going to come up here. He's going to try to trade his teammate, hits a crazy quick scope, and he actually follows it up with another one. Now he knows that the A player is still alive. He's been playing there all game. He knows as well that the B player is alive. He's actually going to spot him here, goes for another quick scope, and he legs him through the wall. He knows he's low. He's been calmed over by his teammates, surely. He pulls out the Glock. Now, there's something really unfortunate about the HP that this guy has. He has 13. And why does that matter? Well, it's because the Glock does 12. I'm not joking. So he turns it in, not that he knows this, but he turned it into burst fire to give him a better chance at hitting a shot. He's going to run him down. He knows he needs to get this bomb planted, or he needs to kill this guy before he can plant the bomb. And the burst Glock will only shoot 1 bullet, and 1 HP separates s1mple from potentially another really nice clutch. Either way, it's still promising signs for s1mple. Now, unfortunately, after s1mple loses this clutch, they are going to be broke, so they have no choice but to go for a force buy, and they've decided to do a B pop. Nothing wrong with that. Frozen's going to go out mid and get a little bit of info, as well as create some chaos. He gets a kill. Now, the B pop is coming in, and s1mple is going to bait these Mac 10s. It's all by design. These are their 2 random teammates that they got, so of course that's going to happen. He throws this flash he's been throwing since CSGO, and he's going to come out here. Now, again, he is an opper, so he's going to be kind of like an Overwatch for them while they're scaling. So they're down here doing the pathing that they're going to do, and he's just going to hold the deep lines. Again, this is all very stylistic of an opper or a baiter. I mean, I do the same thing. I'm a baiter, he's an upper. It's, you know, it's a very similar play style. And he throws this market molly because he knows he needs to get a little bit of space. Now they spot the upper in towards cat, but it doesn't matter because he's made it into market, and he's got a pretty decent position here. He knows, and this is a really strong off angle by the way, but he knows that it's not likely that somebody's market after a certain amount of time. By the way, the reason this angle is so strong is because whenever you're coming through market, you check this angle here for the person playing through the little gap here, and then you're going to check door. Very rarely are you going to expect this angle, and of course, because you're so close to the window, you can also peek through this gap, and it's overall just a really strong position. Now he's just going to be patiently waiting. He probably can just barely hear the footsteps of this guy, but he doesn't realize that that's not the outber. And again, he's just waiting. And by the way, that was under my webcam, but the guy that was cat, maybe you could see it, maybe you couldn't. And again, now he's just holding apps. They hear an M4, and now they should know that that's both of them. He's just holding the cross. This is very standard stuff, and you could do this as a teammate as well. You just say, peek on me, peek on me. And the idea is that this guy cannot be peeked. There's nobody can get to him unless they cross s1mple. And this first guy is going to cross s1mple. He misses it, but that's okay. Now he goes for the second one. He's going to get it. 2 HP though, but he has an HE. And he knows that this guy's low because he just shot him. So he's going to throw this nade, and the nade is... And now there's a little bit of time here for the defuse, but he doesn't go for it. s1mple is going to get a 4K, including a team kill, but again, another clutch for him. There's actually a downside to winning a round like that if you can't tell. It's because, well, with 0 alive, you actually have almost no money after you win that round. So this round is kind of sketchy. They have almost no utility with only 2 AKs and 2 Galils. So they're going to go for another B pop because obviously that's going to be the easier site to hit in this instance. They're going to get out here, and s1mple is going to do the exact same thing that we talked about last round, so I'm not going to explain it. But his teammates are going to get melted, and after s1mple gets a kill, he realizes he needs to get out on this guy because the rotates are far away. And he's just going to be creeping around, kind of baiting with groupies, making these sound cues, jumping out, and he's going to end up finding this guy. Now he does have the bomb on his back, so he's going to just be very careful. He's trying to just isolate these fights. He's checking market, checking apps, trying not to get ahead of himself because he knows it's very likely that somebody's going to walk on the site, and that's exactly what happens. And after Groovy goes down, it's going to leave s1mple in a 1 versus 1, and it's simple and it's a 1v1. But remember, the idea with what just happened was he was hiding because he doesn't want to give this timing, and maybe s1mple is not looking and he gets a 1D onto s1mple and so on. It could get really bad. He's trying to hold his pushes. Now he knows that this guy's cat. It's a very, very common 1v1. All of us have been in this hundreds of times. You know that they could go market. You know that they could go cat. He's going to take the fight because he knows he's got a deagle. It's very just aggressive. He's just going to have a look. He spots him out, and now it's almost impossible for him to lose this. He's just going to take a long range angle. He's very mindful of his HP. He has 50. He knows a body shot would kill him if he's close, but he's going to get as far away as he can. He goes all the way to bench because he knows that it won't kill him from this range. It just won't. So he's got a chance here. Now he needs to get 1 deeked for the instant loss. It's very close, but it's not going to happen. Again, he gets a little bit closer. He's getting confident. He's just now he knows he needs to play time. He knows he's won it. That guy's just standing AFK. And s1mple is going to get the kill. And he's going to finish this game with 36 kills. And overall, pretty positive signs. I liked a lot of the stuff that I saw in this specific game. I think he is looking good. Again, the problem is that the other pugs he's played have been pretty miserable. So signs of life from s1mple is the way I would describe it right now. I'm just hoping that the scrims are going a little bit better. And I'm really hoping that we get to see something more at IEM Dallas. I'm sure we will. But if you guys did enjoy this demo review, I'd appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel if you made it this far, and leave a like as well. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Much love as always.